Waldo Politics is now live. Streaming just chatting. Kirks shooter wants you to hate the left. Stop helping him. Hey ho Waldo hand waving. Oh hi Zoivak, how are you? Good actually carrot I thought it's time again for some foreign politics to upgrade my horizon yummy face. Okay spoiler, it is all bad. Lol. Double spoiler. Here in Germany too, so I am used to it. Good point. Yup. No sympathy for fascists. Scissor. Was it a hoax to incite? I will be talking about that today. I think the assassin wanted to case war between left and right. Cause. Yeah, either way I reckon. I've been hearing some things from some places. Stuff about 4chan Satanists.
Oh, hi. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How's everybody today? I am doing great. It started off as a nice, dreary morning, the kind I like, but then this grotesque day star came out and started shining through my windows, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But that's what happens sometimes. You just gotta deal with it. You gotta take it. You gotta hide from it behind the curtains and stuff like that. So, hi. How are you? I don't have any doggies with me right now, but Bobo the baby bark boy is downstairs.
Whenever I see the polls, I get the GTA San Andreas meme in my head. Ah shit. Here we go again. It never ends. It never stops. You're right. Politics never ends, and it never will. But yeah, Bobo's downstairs with a new toy, and it's a little ball about that big, and it like wiggles, and because it wiggles, it gets stuck under furniture very easily. And then he just screams. Like, have you ever heard a dog scream? Okay, he screams. If he can't get to his ball that is under the furniture. That might happen while I'm streaming today. I don't want it to happen, but it might. In which case, I'm going to have to get up, leave stream. You're going to be here all alone. And then go and get the ball out from under a piece of furniture, because it's like a baby crying. It really is. Like everything in a house like stops when the baby cries. Right? That's what I'm living with right now. Is when Bobo gets his toy stuck under a piece of furniture, he cries like a baby, and everything has to stop. And hopefully, that doesn't happen. But if he comes up to visit us, I will put him up on screen, and we'll. Well, not entirely alone. My old lady's out, and the kid is useless. So, he may be down there playing with it by himself. But if he comes up here, screaming or anything like that, I'll let you know. If he comes up here to visit, I'll put him up on screen. We'll have a good time. Every good stream needs a Bobo break anyway.
Right, and that's what we'll do. We'll force him to get online and get on the screen and get some screen time. So yeah.
I know what you were talking about. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I am happy that she is talking actually.
Right, and that's the good age. That's the age when they can start telling you the things that they're thinking. I'm all right with toddlers and little kids, and that's fine. They can point at the things that they want. If they're hungry, they can be like, "Hey, give me that damn thing up there," and I'm like, "Okay, you want that damn thing," and then I can tell them no. But like. Babies, I don't know what babies want. I got no idea what the hell they're all on about. They're just screaming all the time, and I'm like, what the hell do you want? I don't know what you want. Why are you yelling at me? I tried the Socratic method on an infant, and it did not work. I asked him, why are you screaming?
No TTS?
It's literally on, isn't it? You can't hear it? I hear it. Do you guys not hear it?
Oh, I hear it.
Oh, okay. You're making me nervous.
Real quiet.
Okay. I can bump it up. Yeah, I can move it up. Okay. You made me nervous. I was like, I'm hearing it.
Well, you have some options. Diapers, milk, you name it XD.
Right. And
really
that's fine.
Quiet.
And once you run through all of those obvious things, and then you walk them around and you bounce them up and down, something like
Better.
that, they might stop screaming at you, maybe. Or maybe they don't. Sometimes they don't. And that's what bothers me. My boy was real easy. Oh, yeah. You just put a fake controller in his hand, and he loved it. I cut the cord off of a GameCube controller. You remember those? They look like toys anyway, right? Because they're big and they're purple, and they got a big green button on them. And then anytime he yelled at me, I'd just give him that, and he'd slap it around and be like, ah. And he had a good time with that. So, yeah, that was pretty good. I got real lucky. Anyway, what the hell are we here for? What are we doing? Who am I? Who are you, all you people? What are we doing here? We're here to talk about the politics. That's what we're here for. And let's start off with something not super serious. War with Russia. You know, the little stuff, the light stuff. Let's just start there with war with Russia. Total world war. A letter sent by President Donald J. Trump to all NATO nations and the world. I'm ready to do major sanctions on Russia when all NATO nations have agreed to started to do the same thing, and when all NATO nations stop buying oil from Russia. As you know, NATO's commitment to win has been far less than 100%. NATO hasn't been in the fight, Donnie. They haven't been in the fight. This isn't a NATO versus Russia war. Ukraine is not a part of NATO.
Oh, Russia. I heard about Article 4 happened because Russia attacked Poland.
Yeah, they had their drones over Polish airspace, and then they might have... Do you hear that? Do you hear that barking? That's the ball. That's what I told you about. This is what I was talking about. I knew it would happen the minute I start talking. That's why I was BSing at the very beginning, because I wanted him to get it stuck, and then I could go fix it. Okay, I'm going to go grab the dog. We're going to have a Bobo moment, and then I'm going to take his ball away from him.
I hear absolute no barking.
Okay.
That was fast XD.
I know. It's irony. It's the power of irony. The minute I start talking about Russia, he starts losing his ball. I will be right back. Please don't go anywhere. But do insult me in chat in with the robot lady. You should.
Bork bork. Bulbasaur pretty mid FRFR.
It's a Bobo. Hi, Bo. Say hi to the people. You're interrupting.
Conspiracy theory.
Bobo.
The dog is paid by Putin, so every time Waldo wants to say something about Russia, the dog barks.
But you're cute, so we let you do it, I guess. Say hi to the people. Hi, people.
Bobo.
He's looking for the ball. He's not going to get it. It's gone, kid. It's gone. I took it. It's in my pocket, but he doesn't know that. It's gone. But maybe he'll go look for it and be quiet. Anywho, Editor Waldo, we'll cut all that out. Bulbasaur is pretty mid. How dare you? He is number one. Where did we leave off? Russia, we're going to war. The 100%.
At least it will keep him busy looking for it.
That's what I'm thinking. It might keep him busy looking for it. It'll keep him quiet looking for it, maybe. Because he doesn't have to bark at it. Okay. And the purchase of Russian oil.
It's all I had for insults today.
No, it's good. It cuts deep. It hurts me severely because it was my first Pokemon. You're doing a good job at insults. Let's see. We win. Yeah, it's not a NATO war. The Russians did have all their drones flying around on top of Poland airspace, and maybe that should incite a war. Maybe it will. We're not sure yet. Nobody's sure. It could. Things are about to get much worse, and we have a moron like Donald Trump in charge who thinks that NATO's already in the war and not at 100%. If he wants NATO to go 100%, that means bombing the shit out of Russia, which they're not doing. And we don't want them to do. And he told them not to do. Boss, if you want NATO at 100% war, they can go to 100% war. But you told them not to. God, he doesn't know what he's saying. The words don't mean anything. And he just makes shit up that he thinks sounds cool. Ball. I'm going to give you the ball, but if it gets stuck, I'm going to hit you. Okay, I threw it. Maybe he'll leave. I don't think he can get stuck under anything up here. Lots of distractions today.
It's not a NATO war, but it's an unbelievable important war for NATO. Because except the US, every NATO member is located in Europe.
Right, exactly. And that's why it's important. That's why it would make sense. And they are watching very closely. Of course, they're watching very closely. They're a military alliance, mostly aligned against Russia, only because Russia is the one that does all the things that they keep telling them not to do. Just say when. I believe that this plus NATO as a group placing 50% to 100% tariffs on China to be fully withdrawn after the war with Russia and Ukraine is ended will also be of great help in ending this deadly but ridiculous war. China has a strong control and even grip over Russia, and these powerful tariffs will break that grip. This is not Trump's war. It would never have started if I was president. If Biden and Zelensky's war, I'm only there to help stop it and save thousands of Russians and Ukrainian lives. If NATO does as I say, I can't podcast like this, kid. I can't stream like this, dog. I'll be right back.
Dude can't stop writing that Putin D.
All right, I put up the baby gate because we have a baby gate for him because he's a baby. Anywho, yes. Tariffs are not going to help this. This is not going to make any better. He is doing everything for Putin. He really is. This is not helping. It's not making anything better. Tariffs won't make China stop selling things.
Tariffs on China, at least it's better than tariffs on penguins' cold sweat
Right,
smile.
that's a real thing. But the tariffs on China won't. Okay, so let's game this out. All of the NATO countries charge tariffs to their constituents, their people, their taxpayers. And that's on goods brought in from China. And that makes them less likely to buy from China. And if they're less likely to buy from China, then China has less money to spend on the Russian war? That doesn't make any sense. How does that even come together? How do you put that together? Tariffs aren't going to solve this problem, Donnie. But he doesn't know what tariffs are. He doesn't even know what they are or what they do or who pays them. He thinks that China pays those tariffs. If
it's
Estonia,
like hitting your kids cause someone hit your car.
Right, exactly. If Estonia puts tariffs on China, then China's going to pay Estonia? No, man, that is not how that works. He's a moron. He's an idiot. He doesn't know how tariffs work. He doesn't know what they do. He doesn't know where they come from. He doesn't know how to get them. He just knows that they're a magic money machine. And he's literally wrong about it. They're not a magic money machine. The people in America pay Trump's tariffs. That's how it works. It's a tax. All tariffs are a tax. If Poland puts a tax on its own people for buying things from China, yes, maybe they will buy fewer things from China. But that doesn't mean that China will stop helping Russia. If they think that their economy is being harmed by Poland, they'll be more likely to have Russia attack Poland. They are. If you upset China's economy, they're more likely to attack you. He's calling for sanctions on Russia, which means no money going into Russia. Now, that might sometimes work if the people of Russia then say, we are very upset.
There are enough backdoors for avoiding the tariffs for China and Russia.
Absolutely there are. They have it built somewhere else. They do 90% of the work, and they do the last 10% somewhere else in Bangladesh, which doesn't have any tariffs or something like that. There's ways around it, that's for sure. Yes, when it comes to India, buys the stuff for China. Yeah, it sells in European countries. Yeah, and it doesn't make any sense. Tariffs are not going to solve this problem. You need to get to the heart of the problem, which is Russia stealing other people's land. Russia stealing from other people because they have nothing else to do. They're bored. Putin is a lunatic who's probably close to dying himself and wants to rebuild the Soviet Union for feelings of pride and national power. He has feelings. He has severe and important feelings that he's taking out on other countries. And that's bad. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's figure out what's in charge. And if we do sanction him, then they'll have less money, and then the people revolt. That's what sanctions do. That's the only thing that sanctions do. The wealthy within Russia keep getting what they want and what they need. They'll just buy it through a black market. They'll pay extra for it. They have the money. Sanctions hurt the people of the country. And if those people are hurt long enough in big enough ways, they revolt. They throw their leaders out. They start burning things down. They start breaking into government buildings and stealing stuff. They start attacking politicians. That is how sanctions work. It's how they've always worked. It's what we intend for them to do. That's why we sanctioned Iran for such a long time. That's why we sanctioned Cuba, so that their people would suffer, then change their government. That's how it works.
Defenestration based.
Exactly. That's what we want. That's what you want. That's when you're putting sanctions in place. That's what you want them to do. That's what you want to happen. But the tariffs, that's just stupid. That's Donnie spitballing, saying dumb things because he thinks tariffs are magic. He doesn't know what they are. They're like Bitcoins. He doesn't know what they are. He doesn't know what cryptocurrency does. He just knows it's magical, just like tariffs. They're not, though. Someone can understand them. And if you explain it to them in the right way, he could probably understand this, but he's dumb. He doesn't want to get it. I get your point, but I see the problem there. Russia's nuclear doctrine, it says that Russia is endangered of its existence. It will have to use nuclear weapons. Yeah, I know. So we can not invade Russia. But if we don't, Putin will never stop his war. We have to wear down his troops over time. Yeah, and there's no right answer. There's no good answer. They rely on shelling from really far away to destroy everything. They do use landmines. They ruin the planet that they are trying to take because they are in it for the long haul. Ukraine will suffer, and it has a smaller, younger, less sturdy government. So it may collapse, it may fall. Its people will probably give up before Russian people do. They'll definitely give up before the Russian military does. So what do? You break them, you hurt them, you make them unhappy. Well, then they just keep coming. We need to give them something to do. Honestly, we need to give them something productive to do. I don't know how we do that. Should we build a Disneyland there? Follow me here. Right in the middle, somewhere where there aren't any people, build a Disneyland. I'm just saying. It'll give them something to do. It'll give them something to do. Go and build, and then the people around it will have to have jobs, and then they'll have to do some things, and then they'll feel better. They'll feel more American. They'll feel more liberated. They'll feel more free. And maybe they'll stop stealing from other people. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, appeasing them by giving them part of Ukraine won't work. Appeasing them by giving them anything won't work, because then they'll just wait 5 years and ask for more. That's what they did with Crimea. That's what they're doing with the Donbass now. It's what they did with the other thing. If I were a Chancellor of Germany, I would take Kaliningrad and rename it Koenigsberg. It would come to negotiations. I would say, I thought it was perfectly fine to reclaim old territories. Now it's fashionable these days. Yeah, exactly. Russia, what they're doing now is an 18th century action, and NATO is a 19th century solution to that 18th century problem. Somebody stealing everybody else's land. Let's all band together and stop them. Let's not let them do that. I don't know that there's any solution to this other than completely replacing the person on charge and changing their government entirely. But even then, we can't force that. The people have to do that. And some of them are doing that, but mostly they are in a information bubble where they think that they're right and correct. I don't know any Russian people. I've only just seen some reports talking about how they totally think it's great and rad that they're finally taking Ukraine back. They could be just filled with propaganda. Nobody's immune to propaganda, and maybe they've got a bunch of it. So look forward to that. This is not going to go away. This is not going to go well. This is not going to go quickly or easily. None of the things that Donnie is saying here make any sense, and none of it will help. So if he tells us to do these things, and if these things get done, it won't help. And if they keep going into Poland's airspace and stuff like that, things are going to get ugly. Things are going to get bad. And Poland will start attacking them. And then we have international treaties that say we will help the people of NATO against Russia. But Donnie doesn't want to do that. No, he doesn't want to do that at all. He's the anti-war president who keeps starting wars. Maybe he will jump on board and just bomb the shit out of them and then claim that he did a bunch of peace. Those are peace bombs, you see. He's going to drop a bunch of peace bombs onto Russia. He's going to drop a bunch of peace. He's going to send peace troops, peacekeeping troops, to Russia to kill people. And then he's going to demand the peace prize. That's one route we could go. That's one of the routes we could go. That's one of the directions we could move in the next few months. Is peacekeeping forces go to Russia and kill a bunch of them. But as that pops up, we'll talk about it. So I'm just letting you the latest news. It's a good time. What the hell else is going on? Oh yeah. Charlie Kirk got shot and died, and the world is reeling from it. The right is blaming the left. The left is claiming not to have been involved. We found out who the shooter was yesterday, and it was a right-wing incel Groyper type who was poisoned by 4chan. Really was. And what do we make of that? Good news, everyone. The Reichstag fire has been canceled because it was one of the fascists who killed Charlie Kirk. The Kristallnacht that was planned to combat the dangers of trans shooters is on hold, okay? Because this kid named Taylor was intended to participate in that event. He got antsy. He got ahead of himself, and he was really expecting mass violence, military tribunals, and loading of the undesirables into trains to happen like 6 months ago. These are all the things that he was promised by internet wackos, and they haven't happened yet. He's very unhappy. He's very antsy. He's anxious for these things to finally happen, and he's been waiting, 9 months now, and it hasn't happened yet. What the hell? Speed up. Hurry up. Accelerate. When these things didn't happen, he couldn't wait anymore. And I'm playing armchair psychologist here. I don't think he blamed Charlie Kirk for these things not yet happening. He saw Charlie Kirk as sacred. And he needed Charlie Kirk to be sacrificed, to accelerate the plan. This kid was an accelerationist. Oh, he still is. I guess he's alive. He wanted the fall. Ads. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to become a follower and a subscriber, and on Twitch to dodge them. Did they just start or did they just end? Also, you can go to my YouTube page and watch all these things without being interrupted. That's how they get you. It's how they get you. Okay, I'm not immune to the capitalism. I am deep within the capitalist hellscape. Okay. This kid, Taylor was his name. I keep calling him Taylor. Tyler wanted accelerationism. He wanted the fall of our current society to hurry the fuck up. Get here already. Because he's been waiting for it. He's been dying to get to the Wild West.
Well, ads only possible in Europe. Don't smoke weed and drive. It's unsafe.
That's, it's illegal in America. So, yeah. But yeah, he wanted the fall of our current society because he's upset with it. He didn't like it so much. It wasn't perfect. Does he want something new to be built in its place? No. Does he have plans to make the world better after the fall of our civilization? No. From what I've seen, what I've read, he was a nihilist. He did not want to build new, better things. He wanted only to destroy the most sacred things he could. He wanted to hurt the conservatives in a way to drive them mad. He wanted to hurt conservatives, to make them angry, to make them hate, to make them come after their enemies, which are his enemies. And I think he picked exactly the right person. Charlie Kirk was relatively scandal-free. I don't agree with anything he said, and I think he's a liar and a fascist, but he wasn't an adulterer the way Donald Trump was, and a lot of mega pastors. You know, what was that guy? The mega pastor or whatever that keeps cheating on his wife and has 4 different wives, and they all cheat on their wives, and they all take all a bunch of money. He didn't do any of that stuff. He was wealthy, but he funneled that money back into the cause to get more young people engaged in right-wing propaganda, to get them to show up at these events, to hold the events, to make to get people out to vote for right-wing ideas. He did those things instead of keeping all the money the way a mega pastor at a giant church does, where they just keep all the money and then they tell you to send them more money. He didn't do any of that stuff. He was sacred. He was doing a sacred job, speaking his opinion. He did a lot more than that, but to the conservatives, they see him as using his free speech and defending the Second Amendment. They saw him as a saint. That is why he is a perfect target. And Tyler killed him, this sacred, holy figure, to make the right wing feel fear, anger, and hatred. All politics are based on feelings. All of them. They always have been. Tyler wanted the right wing to lash out. He wanted them to find a Wokey in real life and hurt them. And so here's Stephen Miller saying exactly something like that. He's fallen directly into the trap. Stephen Miller knows this. He is a Nazi himself, and he knows that this is what the kid wanted. He knows that this is what he needs to do to move forward on his plan. Where did I put you? Mr. Miller. There you are. Okay. Stephen Miller. Here we go. Stephen Miller, the Nazi, doing exactly what the assassin wanted.
And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection, but we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organizations and the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, and that are committing acts of wanton violence. It has to stop. And my message is to all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate, you want us to live in fear? We will not live in fear, but you will live in exile, because the power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to find you, will be used to take away your money, take away your power, and if you've broken the law, to take away your freedom, Sean.
It sounds much more impressive in the original German, but that's what this guy is talking about. He wants the left to be harmed
except for white nationalists.
Yeah,
obviously.
the white nationalists. No. They're not to be blamed. You see, the conservatives don't understand freedom. Freedom means that sometimes people will make choices that you wouldn't necessarily make. Freedom means that some people will make decisions that Stephen Miller doesn't like, and you have to allow that. But he doesn't accept that. He doesn't like that. Conservatives don't know what the word freedom means. When Charlie Kirk insults, demeans, or provokes the people he doesn't like, that's just honest debate and an exchange of ideas. In reality, his last words were political debate bro fallacy. But when a leftist like me politely asks the government to stop hurting innocent people, that's hate speech, that's wokeism, that's cancel culture, that's anti-American conspiracy and insurrection that needs to be harmed by the government. If you do not agree with Stephen Miller and whatever he does, you will be harmed by the government. Be conservative or suffer. That is his message. That is the message that the assassin wanted. That is the war the assassin is pushing for. That is what he wants for us to do. He wants Stephen Miller to start cracking skulls. He wants the government to start hurting people who disagree. with the government. He wants only the people on the right side of the equation to have free speech. Everyone else, fewer rights, fewer privileges, second-class citizens, not allowed to talk, harmed by the government if they do. That is the war that he is trying to accomplish, and it's working. Damn it, it is working. He is getting exactly what he wanted. Every right-winger, and a bunch of them came into my YouTube comments to tell me that I'm a bad person. A lot of them got banned. Not by me, but by the auto banning software on YouTube, telling me how horrible I am. They are doing exactly what this assassin wanted. They are helping this assassin accomplish his goal. His goal is to make the right angry and vengeful and strike out, lash out. That is what he wanted, and that is what they are doing. Don't help him. Stop helping him. If you hear me speaking and you are a conservative or a person on the right, stop lashing out. It's what he wanted. It's what the assassin wanted. It's why the assassin did it, to make you fearful, angry, and hateful towards everyone else, because that will lead to the collapse that he wanted. He is a nihilist. He did not want new things. He didn't want good things. He wanted to offend you. He wanted to hurt your sacred cow. He wanted to hurt your saint. The assassin superficially leans more to the right, if you listen to the words that he said and the things that he posted and the stuff that he talked about and he followed. But he was also a nihilist with an incoherent ideology. Bad news, I apologize, but all 22-year-olds are incoherent. All of them. I'm sorry for anybody who's 22 years old in chat, but he's had a whole bunch of different ideologies. He was radicalized on the internet, and it's not going away. There are more people like him. The kids are scared of that guy. Yeah, free speech is just eyewash. Anyway, the right wingers say that things like nothing more could be said, free speech, but in the same time they say things like our only party should have something to say in the country. All these leftists should shut up. Yeah, exactly. They want the people who disagree with them to stop talking and their speech to be elevated to a higher level. Charlie Kirk wants every single thing he says to be broadcast to everyone as truth, reality, and correct, and the TV media backs it up. And if you disagree with him, you're a liar, you're a wokist, you're a criminal, and you need to be investigated and possibly prosecuted for saying things that he doesn't like. That's what Stephen Miller's going to try and do. He's going to try to get people investigated and harmed for the words that they say, because he doesn't know what freedom is. He doesn't know what it means. He thinks that his ideas being elevated to the maximum correctness is freedom. He is a supremacist of conservatism, and I would say white people. He is a white supremacist, sure, but he's also an ideological supremacist. His ideology needs to be supreme. It needs to be the most important, the most valuable, and the most respected within the law, within the society, within the world. And if you don't respect it, if you are not a part of his ideology, you will suffer. You will become a second-class citizen. You will have your rights revoked. You will have your privileges lowered. You will have to pay more taxes. You will have your money taken away from the government, by the government. You will have investigations from the government. You will be hurt by the jackbooted thugs who kick in your door and drag you off to the gulag, to the re-education camp, if you don't subscribe fully to his ideology. He's an authoritarian. And I would say a Nazi, but let's look at the other things that are happening. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The Evergreen High School shooter embraced Columbine, anti-Semitism, and white supremacy online. The account linked by Desmond Holly, 16, also posted a picture of a revolver and ammunition about an hour before the shooting. So this was just the shooting that happened on the same day, on September 11th. Or was it the 10th? 16-year-old boy accused of shooting two classmates at Evergreen High School on Wednesday before fatally shooting himself embraced conspiratorial, anti-Semitic, and white supremacist social media content, according to the review by the Colorado Sun. Desmond Holly. So this happened an hour or so after the Charlie Kirk shooting. This 16-year-old, who was poisoned by the internet, shot up a school. a very sacred place. The reason they go to the school is because that's a sacred place where all of your children are. It's important. It's a pillar of the community. It's a thing that we all went through. Every human well, not every human, but everyone in America goes through school. We all remember it. We all went there. We all send our kids there. We all want it to be safe. It's important, and everybody likes schools for kids. Left and right, they all agree. Teach the children. What to teach them becomes politics, but teaching them is important. It is sacred, and that is why they go there. That is why they shoot that place up. The Columbine kids wanted to offend. They wanted to hurt. They wanted nihilistically to hurt the sacred places. The Sandy Hook shooting, he wanted to hurt something sacred. These incoherent people with busted brains, and they're not fully on the left or fully on the right. They're incoherent. Sometimes they lean left, sometimes they lean right. The last 2 or 3 have leaned right. But they aren't coherent. They aren't making good prescriptions. They aren't coming to get to intelligent, proper conclusions. If they were, they wouldn't be shooting the place up.
Well, don't you have the option for homeschooling in the U.S.? So I guess not everyone likes the concept of schools.
We do, but it is complicated. The homeschooling is its own fucking issue. Usually, the people who do homeschools are severely religious or severely conspiracy-brained, and they don't want the school teaching all that woke nonsense that the gay people exist. It's rare to have a non-religious person go to a homeschool. I mean, I think conspiracy theories are similar to a religion, so it's close enough. But yeah, homeschooling is an option, but only the highly religious use it and take it. And then even then they have state requirements and shit like that, there are state mandated tests that those children have to pass. And if they haven't passed it, then the state levies fines and stuff like that against the parents because they didn't do the homeschooling. They just let their kids sit around, or they just taught them Bible verses and now they can't actually read anything else and they can't do any math. You get in trouble for the homeschooling and they don't let you do the homeschooling again. And now the, what's it called? The child welfare services or something like that start investigating you and finding out what you're doing and if you're doing it right. And then they give you the books and the stuff and you got to teach them. You have to do a whole thing. It's very much work. It's a lot of work. But it's none of the less system that should be banned. Dumb religious extremists school later dumb children. It's not something I was for. Yeah, exactly. And the reason they what was I talking about? Sacred cows, very important, valuable things to the society are what they want to hurt. The nihilists want to hurt the things that are most important to society. That way, it makes the most impact. That's what their goal is, to harm society. Another right-wing person poisoned by right-wing internet, anti-Semitic and white supremacist social media. Here is the mass shooting survivor tells NBC suspect was member of pro-Trump group, had white supremacist views. This was from April. This is only a few months ago. I know April was 1,000,000,000,000,000 years ago when you're talking about politics, but this person was a Florida State University mass shooter, told the Hallie Jackson that the suspect Phoenix Eichner was a member of pro-Trump Turning Point USA. Hey, that's Charlie Kirk's thing. And was kicked out of a college club for white supremacist views. This is where the violence is coming from. And they are lying to you. They're coming into my YouTube chats telling me that the leftists are violent. They're not. It's not where the violence is coming from. And there's even science to back it up. Are leftists coming for you? Here's what the data says about political violence. Who's responsible for the rise in hate, division, and political violence? The data is clear. Don't goof me out now here. No one knows who killed far-right activist Charlie Kirk, blah, blah. We already know who. Where's the answer? So this is the maybe AI video. Let's get to the important part. We used data from 2 sources, the Prosecution Project, an open source research platform tracking and providing an analysis of felony criminal cases involving illegal political violence since the 1990s, and the FBI crime hate statistics. Although political violence is different from hate crimes, the numerous claims of anti-white and anti-Christian violence deserve exploring. Do we have a problem with political violence? According to the FBI statistics, bias-related incidents have nearly doubled over the past decade, reaching an all-time high in 2023. Similarly, acts of political violence have also quadrupled since Donald Trump entered the political arena. While it's irresponsible to blame any single individual for this phenomenon, the data shows that the categories for racial bias and anti-LGBTQ are almost solely responsible for MAGA-era increase in hate crimes. Who is committing the violence? According to the numbers, the typical act of political violence or hate crime is committed by a right-leaning 42-year-old white male. The 22-year-olds and the 16-year-olds are catching up, I think, though. Over the past decade, whites have committed 57% violent hate crimes and 56% of political violence in cases where the offender is known. Black Americans are overrepresented in property-related hate crimes, but government data shows whites are overrepresented in assaults and acts of intimidation. Interestingly, white perpetrators of political violence are more likely to be arrested and indicted, but are least likely to be convicted. So, yeah, here we go. This is where the problem is coming from. The right, the people on the right, spreading hate, spreading fear, spreading promising violence. And I've said that about Charlie Kirk. He is a violence evangelist. He wants a white ethno-state in America. He wants that. And he will work to make it happen. Charlie Kirk was not shot because of Charlie Kirk was not shot because he was sharing his opinions. No. He was shot because of his power to move people, his power to convince people, his power to get people to take action. If it was a left-leaning person who shot him, and it's not, they would have done so to stop that power. If it was a radical Marxist who had done this, then they would, in their goofy, broken, diseased brain, think that that would stop his power. I don't think that that would be true, but that would be their thinking. But we don't have that. We have an online Pepe posting right-wing 4chan troll who wanted to accelerate the hatred and the fighting between the left and the right. And so he picked the most sacred person he could and harmed them, and then tried real hard, and so did everybody else on the right, to blame the left. Because that's what he wanted. He wanted the fight. He wanted this clash to happen. Because he's a nihilist and he hates you. Stop doing him a favor. Every right-wing person who's screaming about the left right now, you're helping him. Here is some people doing exactly that. Here's, where is good old Nancy Mace? Where was she? I know I had a photo about her. Oh, no, did I not bring it up? Oh, Waldo, you suck. Hang on. It's in my favorites. I saved it. One sec. I know it's in here. That's my cheat code. That's what I do. Is I do the things I like and I favorite, I put up on stream later. Okay, here we go. Nancy Mace says, it's time to bring back the death penalty. She said this because of the evil Marxist, Leninist, leftist who shot Charlie Kirk. But then she gets some new information and she's like, wait, hang on. We truly believe if Tyler Robinson had ever sat down across from Charlie, the great debater, the man of faith and grace he was, Tyler wouldn't have pulled the trigger. Nancy, what happened to this? What happened to the death penalty? What are you doing? Left people kill somebody to the death penalty. Right people kill somebody, and it's just a misunderstanding. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what they meant.
Only
it's
extremism is our enemy. So the exact center would be the perfect democratic system.
John K., hi, thanks for coming in. Glad you're here. It's humans. Okay, I have a bold thesis. I'm ready for it, Zoidback. Right-wing groups operate on emotions. All politics are based on feelings, left, right, and center, all of them. It's a feeling that foreigners are to blame for everything. Yeah, they have a fear of them. It's a feeling that left-wing political groups want to ruin the country, and so on. Yeah, they have that feeling. Left-wing groups operate on facts. Well, they also operate on feelings. I'll tell you why here in just a sec. They look at statistics and try to redistribute wealth equally. Why would we redistribute that wealth equally? Because everyone deserves it. Deserve is a feeling. I think we need both. Right-wing groups address people's feelings and problems, and left-wing groups offer solutions based on logic. And I would say, why are we doing the logic? I would take a step back and say, even the left is based on feelings. I have all of my stuff based on feelings. All of my politics are based on feelings. Most of it boils down to one specific feeling. I feel like humans should be free. There's no math that proves that out. There's no scientific formula that you can put together to make that a correct statement, a true scientific fact. No, that's a feeling I have. Humans should be free. Freedom for humans is a good thing. What is good if not a feeling? I feel that way. And so when I make a decision on any political subject, like taxes or wealth equality or something like that, I look at it and I weigh it and I say, does this make humans more free? Or does it give power to maybe an oligarch? Does it give power to Donald Trump, who makes him more powerful and more wealthy, and take away power from people? That's what I see most of the time. That's what most right-wing ideas are doing. They're taking freedom away. The right wing will take freedom away so that you act like they want you to. The feelings don't solve actual problems, no, but they are the motivation for solving the problems. Only logic to redistribute wealth, and everyone is economically happy. Happy is a feeling, and do not rebel against the system because you trust the system. You want the system to work well for those people. That's a feeling you have. I'm okay with that. It's okay to say that you have based your politics on feelings. It's okay. All motivation comes from a feeling. If you are motivated to redistribute that wealth, what motivates you? The feelings of fairness, a love of humanity. Those are feelings, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. The greatest lie the right wing ever told was that they are the party of facts over feelings. That's nonsense. It's never been true. All politics are based on feelings. And if I want good things for people, that's a feeling. If you want bad things for people, that's also a feeling.
I couldn't help but be relieved that he's right-wing. It takes all the wind out of any kind of right-wing jihad.
Right, and that's why Kristallnacht is postponed for now, okay? They're waiting for the next trans shooter to have the Kristallnacht and to load people onto trains. And they were talking about that. When the last shooter was a trans person, they were talking about taking all the guns away from the trans people. They were talking about making it illegal to be trans. They were talking about loading them up and putting them onto fucking trains to send to concentration camps. They were talking about that. Not because they think it's a good idea, but because they just hate people. They hate and they restrict freedom. Blue Genie 13, exactly. So you emotional energy into shit that actually matters, like improving your own life. Absolutely, Blue Genie. Feelings motivate you. You politics people are low IQ. Blue Genie, how are you going to do anything without politics? Boss, Stephen Miller wants it to be illegal to say certain things. The right-wing media wants it to be illegal to cross borders. The right-wing politicians want it to be illegal for you to buy things without paying a huge tax as a tariff. Politics is just the rules for society, my man. Listen, follow me. Follow me here. Starts at the bottom with objective reality, real things. The periodic table, not based on feelings, I promise. Everything I do is without politics. Everything is political, Blue Genie. Everything is political. Literally everything. I dare you right now to name something that is not political. You can't do it. You can't. Even the periodic table, in the shape that it is in, and which shape you'd prefer it to be in. Even with all the right data, there are multiple shapes for the periodic table. Did you know that? If you're gay, it is. What are you talking about? You just called me stupid. God, you can't even answer my question. Weak sauce, boss. You're pathetic. You're embarrassing yourself. Sure, it's okay to have these feelings, but it's not okay to let the feelings overwhelm you. I agree with you, Zoivak. if you do ask politics. My only opinion.
Then G. Boomond.
Problems should shout out because it's felt motivation that should be solved logically. I agree with you. You have a feeling that people should have a better life. How do we logically get to that point? Those facts, the fact finding, the gathering of information happens after you're motivated. And the motivation comes from feelings. You have a feeling, you have a reaction, you get motivated, you start gathering facts, you start gathering data, you start putting together logical.
Damn, I couldn't even troll correctly.
And my life has improved exponentially. You became gay, Blue Genie? You became gay and your life improved exponentially. Congratulations, sir. I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you and your boyfriend. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for coming out of the closet. I appreciate you having the courage to do that on the Waldo Stream. Folks, that's the Waldo Stream, making the world a better place. Bringing people out of the closet. That's so nice. I appreciate that. Well, gay is bad also is a feeling.
Oh, no, they're eating the troll.
Well, gay is bad also is a feeling. Yes, it is. How does someone who is gay and have a husband and his own little family and who is living miles away from you harm you directly? Exactly. It's a feeling. If you feel like these people are bad and you feel like they're awful and you feel like they're a threat to you, that's a feeling of fear. That's anger. It's disgust, honestly. A lot of the conservative feelings are disgust, anger, fear, hatred, hatred towards the immigrants, hatred towards the people from other countries, hatred towards people who don't speak English, fear of the people coming across and stealing your jobs. That was one of my favorite Charlie Kirk quotes, was that black women are inherently stupid and stealing a job spot from white men. Let me find the exact quote because it's not good. It's very racist and it's very bad. But let me find exactly what he said. It's on one of my I used it on one of my YouTube quotes. But yeah, he was a white nationalist. He was a white supremacist. He isn't someone who should be listened to. He should not be appreciated, and I will have no sympathy for him because he pushed fascism. He intended for America to stop being what it is and be instead a white nationalist ethno-state, and I don't like that. One of his quotes was, "Black women do not have the brain processing power to be taken seriously. You have to go steal a white person's slot." That is what he said. He is suggesting to you that black women are never smart, and they can never be smarter or more valuable or more meritocratic than a white man. That is what he thought. He is a bad guy. I will have no sympathy for him. I'm sure this is sort of no shit, but I don't believe in God, but I had to read the Bible only to fight extreme Christian views with their own weapons. Yeah, if there's one thing in the world that'll turn a person atheist, is reading the Bible. Me strong man, me no feels. Yeah, exactly. The Blue Genie, you have lots of feelings. You have lots of them, and that's okay. I'm not mad at you for that. That would be a feeling. Recognize what they are. If you see two dudes kissing and it makes you violently ill, that's a feeling, man. It really is. If that grosses you out, you have a feeling. Okay? Now, what you do with that feeling is politics. Okay? If you hide that feeling away and you put it away and say, they're not harming me, I just won't look at it. That's a political choice you just made. If you build an entire political apparatus to take away their right to get married and then take away their right to kiss people in public, that's politics. Of course
Lol,
it is.
they're eating crucifixes.
They're eating the crucifixes. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. And so you have a reaction, you have a feeling, and then you build upon it. If you have a feeling, you react to it, and then you build a politics on top of it. That is everything. All the things are politics. There is nothing that I can find that isn't political, even just a little bit. Some people will say math. They try and trip me up. They throw that at me. How is math political? Are we using Arabic numerals? Or are we using Roman numerals? Or are we using Japanese kanji? If your son came back home from kindergarten and the entire worksheet was covered in Japanese kanji numerals rather than the normal, not normal, but the Arabic numerals that I am used to.
12,345.
Like those. If that was the Japanese equivalent, it would still be math. But why did the school choose to do the Japanese ones? Sounds political to me. Why did we choose to use the Arabic numerals? Sounds political. Romans 13, very political. Every government is established to God by, violate the laws of one's own country, to violate God's laws, yep. Article 1 of our basic law, human dignity is inviolable. No one shall be discriminated against on the basis of sexuality, ethnicity, religion, or gender, a slap in the face of every homophobic Christian. Yeah, absolutely. They don't like equality. Equality makes them feel bad. And so they fight against it. It makes them feel bad. They hate that DEI stuff. They hate the idea that a well-educated, qualified black man could be their boss. That makes them feel bad. That upsets their internal working machinery. The idea that a well-educated woman could be in charge of the country freaks them out, because that's not how the world is supposed to work in their dumb, empty little brains, their hierarchy-shaped brains. That's why they like hierarchy. That's why they appreciate old Kermit the Frog, Jordan Peterson, because he builds this hierarchy and he tells them that it's right and it's good, and that they are correct for appreciating the hierarchy. It's a pyramid. And everybody needs to be in their place. Even the people one step above the bottom appreciate the pyramid because they're not at the bottom. And everybody needs to be in their place. And if they see a woman above them on that pyramid, she must have slept her way to the top. She must have played some sort of political game to get to the top, because she can't possibly be more qualified, more meritocratic than a white man. That's impossible in their tiny brains. Same thing for black people. Every time they see a black person who's doing better than them, they must have played the race card. This is baby brain, bottom of the pyramid thinking. And it comes just from conservative type people. I'm way off topic. I have gone entirely off the rails, but I appreciate everybody who's here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being in chat. It makes things much more fun and more interesting. What the hell was I talking about? Okay, so we got, I'm going to close some tabs. We read this. We read that. We looked at this shooter. We looked at that. We looked at, okay, so let's talk about the cops and stuff like that. We did Miller. We have some Trump stuff coming up. Don't go away. It'll be fun. And we did the Nancy Mace thing. Okay. Let's look at real quick before we change topics completely. Nihilism is a family of philosophical views arguing, for instance, that life is meaningless, that moral values are baseless, and that knowledge is impossible. These views span several
but Twitch
branches.
Needs some new ads. Prize Picks and Long John Silver's is getting old.
Well, that's what they think you like, Shinsinto. It's true. I don't know what Prize Picks is, but Long John Silver's, I loved Long John Silver's. I would eat Long John Silver's on stream for an ad if they paid me, because I would eat it anyway. Long John Silver's, sponsor me. Send me some fish. I promise not to do ads for gambling websites or NordVPN, but like tasty food, boss. I'm going to do some tasty food ads. Like if they give me some tasty food, they don't even have to pay me money. Long John Silver's doesn't have to pay me money.
They don't know me. I hate gambling, and LJS makes me sick to my stomach.
No, you got to put the malt vinegar on it. Yeah, malt vinegar. So good. So good. Fish. I only have one philosophy. As you shout into the forest, the echo resounds. As long as I'm allowed to live how I want, I'll let either person live how they want. Sounds like freedom. I like it. As long as you don't directly hurt or restrict anyone else, you can be however you want to be. And that's it, simple. That's freedom. So it really is. But conservatives tend to be afraid that freedom will get in front of them and they'll have to see it. They're afraid their children will be free. They don't want their children to be free. They want their children to be them. This is why conservatives hate it when the kids run off to college and turn into a screaming liberal from colleges. It's because they've been given freedom. They have tasted freedom out from under their parents' authoritarian rule, and they go wild. The tighter you restrict your children when they're young, the more explosive they will be when they go to college. This is obvious. And then they come back and they don't look like or act like their parents anymore. I'm not going to watch your statement, Sewells, but I am going to watch the FBI, because that's what the next thing is. Thank you for getting us back on track, Sewells. That's what I wanted to talk about next. Nihilism is what this kid did. Nihilism is what the only kind of ideology that he might have.
Politician to the Pope. You hold M dumb and I hold M poor.
Absolutely. You keep them dumb, I'll keep them poor. When they agree with each other. But nihilism is the only ideology this kid had. Let's go on to the next thing. So this is the press conference that they described the things, and this is just fun for me to watch. You guys, we're just going to watch this because it's fun. Here is a very important, very valuable, very important person within the FBI.
Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital O-W-O."
Ooh, woo. So they thought, this is why they thought it was a trans person.
What's this question mark? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols.
Which is famously from Helldivers.
A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
That's just funny. If you read this, you are gay, LMAO. I'm going to download this video, not kidding, and make that the sound for when somebody gives me bits on Twitch.
Trolling.
That's going to be that guy with that voice saying that every time someone gives me bits. That's what it's going to say. It's going to be a good time. But I haven't done it yet. This only happened yesterday, and I only came up with the idea a few minutes ago. But that's what it's going to be. So swing by next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, give me 1 bit, and you'll hear that guy say that, because I think it's funny. What else happened? So let's see.
We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
The rest of this is kind of boring, but we are going to cut to Kash Patel, Kash Patel, head of the FBI, is not qualified for his job. What you see is you're more qualified than Kash Patel is. I don't know anything about you, but you are just as qualified as Kash Patel to run the FBI. He is a dipshit. He is, not you, but he is just a sycophant for Donald Trump, and he will do everything he tells him. He doesn't have any law enforcement experience. He is not in charge of anything. He has never run any agencies before. He is just a podcaster. He does not have the merit
Question.
for that
What
job.
politician is actually qualified for his job?
Some of them
Cold
can
sweat
be.
smile.
Some of them could be. If you're involved in a city council, if you're elected to a city council, if you find out what's going on in your city, you listen to the people and then you do what they ask you to. You are now a politician. You're qualified. If you were, you went to
Gotta
college.
appreciate the professionalism.
Yeah.
It had to be said, and he did it without the tiniest smirk.
And that's really good.
O-W-O.
I'm proud of him. I'm glad he did. Ooh, oh, whoa. He did a good job. And that's why it's funny. But Kash Patel doesn't have any degree in this. He didn't go to college for political science. You know, political science is a degree that you can obtain within the college structure for now. Later it won't be.
Cash isn't a politician, he's a podcaster.
Exactly. He's got nothing. And we're about to see that nothing. Listen to the words that he says, and you'll come to the same conclusion that I did, that he just ChatGPT, went to ChatGPT and found out what FBI agents say regularly, and then just copied that.
Of the FBI, Kash Patel.
This is some ChatGPT fucking speech. I tell you what.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory.
You didn't catch him. He was turned in by his own father. The FBI didn't do shit. Good cops being cops, that's nonsense. They were investigating, yes, but they hadn't caught him yet.
I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump.
What did he have to do with
Vice
it?
President and the entire White House, who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
33.
Gotta make Donnie happy.
Yeah, you gotta bring him in. 33. That is a Masonic symbol. It's a Masonic number. He's telling you right now. He's giving you the Masonic magic mind control spell right there with you. 33.
Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your
He hasn't said anything yet.
that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence. And
He's just describing planes, you guys. We sent people on planes, and
We
then
had
they
a
got
children's
here.
book author at the last vice chancellor, and he was the best we had in decades. Cold sweat smile.
That does sound nice, Zovek. That sounds great. Like an author of a book would have, especially a children's book, would understand the feelings that are involved. An artist would understand feelings, and if you understand feelings, you can translate them and you can explain them to small children. That's difficult to do.
Read my last comment.
Oh, sorry. Politicians do not need a degree. No, I agree. They don't need a degree. Politicians must be able to communicate complex problems. Yeah, you're right. Simply so the public can understand them transparently. You're right. The public very rarely understands anything. Having someone communicate things well is a valuable skill. The responsibility lies with the ministry and what ministries are for. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. The politicians are for the people, of the people, by the people. And sometimes the people are stupid. So you need to understand that. You need to recognize it. You need to recognize what they're feeling and how they're doing, and then explain to them a better way, explain to them a path, hopefully that doesn't lead to violence. And that's difficult. What's far easier than that is calling people gay and calling people names and calling them insulting and talking shit and saying that those others are out to get you. That's easier.
other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100
9/11, another
at 10:45 a.m. local.
Another Masonic symbol. So there's not an accident. This stuff was happening on that day.
Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m.
Cash and
on
Bongo
9/11.
on the scene. What are
The
you doing at the scene? What are you doing? How are you helping?
Governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last
Photo
night,
op.
the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full
Masonic
weight
symbol.
of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a
I love it how you say that in that
And I wanna
distorted
highlight what
voice.
Governor Cox said. This would
Oh, that's Alex Jones. That's my Alex Jones voice. You turn the freaking frogs, gays, way back. I'm proud of you. He's Alex Jones. If you don't know him, you should look him up. He's a good time.
not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency.
He wrote this. ChatGPT wrote this speech for him. I know it did. I know ChatGPT wrote this speech for him.
The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that
The pleasure to walk through. Yeah, I had the pleasure to walk through there. He almost said it.
crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence is
It was seized and garnered. Guys, he doesn't know what those words mean. He does not know what those words mean. He had ChatGPT write this speech.
already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team.
We're going to keep working. Okay? But
Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI.
how is that helpful? It was only one that mattered. That sounds like 10,999 false trails.
We are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las
So many
Vegas,
leads.
Pittsburgh,
We got
Buffalo,
all the
our
leads.
headquarters component.
Some are saying they're the best leads.
These are the best leads. All the leads. It's like he said, we saw the problems and we actually have a task force dealing with that because people love it when we say things like that. Task force. Yeah, exactly. Like he had ChatGPT write this for him.
How
the term
many do
busy
you think
idiot.
those leads were about Obama?
It was. I saw the shooter. It was Obama himself. It was Barack Hussein Obama. What did that shot? I saw him. He was wearing a T-shirt with Che Guevara on it, and he had a pin of Karl Marx. But he gets to the cringiest part here in just a sec. So let's watch the horrible cringe.
Quantico all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees
It was Trans
of the
Michelle.
FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team technicians, the special operators, the agents, the support
She was the
staff.
getaway driver.
You have done monumental work in historic time.
Monumental work in historic time. This is what somebody who didn't read the book sounds like when they're doing a book report. It was a monumental book, and it was a great book. Just look at it.
When the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call
ChatGPT.
diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need,
To develop and provide. I'm telling you, man.
ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Valhalla. Valhalla. He'll see you in Valhalla, brother. First of all, Charlie Kirk was a Christian. He doesn't believe in Valhalla. Second, he is a grifter, so he doesn't believe in Christianity either. He uses it as a stepping stone to steal from people. Kash Patel, of Asian descent, probably something India or Pakistan. I don't know where he's from. Not a Viking. Why are you going to Valhalla? Charlie wasn't a warrior. He doesn't even get in under Valhalla rules. You have to die valiantly within battle to go to Valhalla. And that's where you go to do more battle in a war. You can't be anti-violence and be in Valhalla. It doesn't work. These people are incoherent. Right-wing ideology is incoherent. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have a follow-through. It has fingers to point at the people they hate, and that is all.
See you in pagan heaven, brother. Too bad you were a Christian and didn't get into Christian heaven.
I know. God, if Charlie Kirk even got to heaven, he would be shocked that it exists and then terrified because he would be held responsible for his actions. I don't think it exists either. I'm an atheist, I always have been. He's dead, and that's the end. Sorry. And these people don't believe in it either. And they sure as hell don't believe in Valhalla. Where's the right-wing fucking Christians screaming bloody murder about Kash Patel sending him to Valhalla?
Go forth, shiny and chrome.
Go forth, shiny and chrome. Witness me. Kash Patel thinks Charlie Kirk is fighting the Great War in the Tranquil and Halls. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
At Shinsinto, I would like to go to hell. I like barbecue.
Yeah, you go to heaven for vacation, but then you go to hell for the company. For all the cool people that are down there. I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you hadn't seen it, it's amazing. And then it continues for like 20 more minutes, and it is just
Crucifix
awful.
Appetizers, oh my.
And I couldn't have kept
At
it straight.
Zoivac, just have to die with brisket in your arms.
And this guy, look at him. He's about to crack. He is. He's about to crack. That FBI guy who said, if you read this, you're gay, LMAO, is about to crack under that. He's like, please leave. Like, you are just the most he's unqualified to be there. He had ChatGPT write a speech for him because he doesn't know how to write speeches. He doesn't know what the FBI does. He just thinks that the FBI chases bad guys down the street. And the bad guys are wearing black and white stripes and have a little black mask right here. And they have a bag with a $sign on it. And they are running down the street. And the FBI needs to chase them. And it's woke when you tell the FBI to stop chasing them because the burglar is black. That's his understanding of the world. He has a child's understanding of the world. Kash Patel does. And I'm glad he hasn't ruined the entire FBI. He's trying his ass off, though. I tell you what, he is working it real hard. Kash Patel's
He's
FBI.
He's probably surprised that he was asked to speak. At least he looks surprised.
He does look surprised. But Kash Patel's FBI
At Shinsinto,
is a total mess.
Is it enough to just eat chicken breast?
Tasty stuff. So the Zoivac, if you don't want it to speak, you put a hashtag in front of it.
At Zoivac, no. But I don't make the rules.
Do a hashtag if you're telling each other, because then it won't read, and then it doesn't distract me, and then I get to keep ranting. I appreciate that, though I love you. I appreciate you being here, and that's why it's here, is to distract me and keep it going. Kash Patel's FBI is a total mess. A new lawsuit indicates that he's too busy chasing online clout to notice. He's trying to break the things, and completely off the subject, completely not important, but it does look like Kash Patel is holding this guy's hand, right? Like, that's what it looks like. It is not. If you look closely, this is like the hood on the back of his shirt, but because of the angle of the hood and then the angle of this little graphic and then the hand there, it does look like he's holding a man's hand. I do really like that. It is not important, and it is very stupid, but it makes me fucking laugh. Because I saw it, and I was like, is he holding that guy's hand? And then I had to squint and look real close. He is not holding that guy's hand, but it makes me laugh that this photo exists, and I get to tell people spiritually he is holding a man's hand. So let's read it. On July 14th, Kash Patel summoned an agent with nearly 20 years' experience at the FBI to his office. The agent, Steve Jensen, asked Patel not to fire another agent who would soon become the subject of an online vitriol from Patel's MAGA followers. The agent's wife had stage 4 cancer and had just days to live, Jensen said. Patel took it under advisement, then presented Jensen with a challenge coin, according to the lawsuit filed by Jensen and 2 other FBI veterans who were fired in a purge of the agency of anyone deemed disloyal to President Donald Trump. At the top of the coin, director, and at the bottom of the coin, Kash Patel. He doesn't understand what challenge coins are. He doesn't know what they're for. It's an old military thing that has been catching on with normies lately. He doesn't get it. Donald Trump has so many of them. They're all aligned in the back of his, in the back behind his desk and stuff like that. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it means. But they are stealing valor almost. Jensen and 2 other FBI veterans, Brian Driscoll and Spencer Evans, are now suing Patel and the FBI Attorney General Pam Bondi and the White House for what they view as unlawful terminations. The lawsuit, filed on Wednesday, paints a disturbing portrait of political purge within the FBI, carried out over the last 9 months at the alleged direction of the White House. The targeted agents who worked on the investigations into Russian interference in the 2016 election, the January 6 attacks, and the U.S. Capitol, the classified documents case, and its ensuing raid on Mar-a-Lago, and anyone who voted for Kamala Harris or harbors personal political views favoring Democrats. So if you were at the FBI doing your job properly and looked into the 2016 election and found out that Donald Trump lost by 4 million votes to Hillary but won the Electoral College, if you said that, you get fired. If you said that Donald Trump did not win in 2020, you would get fired, even though it is factually true. It is factually correct. If you looked at the January 6 attack and tried to investigate who did that, you would be fired. If you investigated the documents case that literally factually happened, you would be fired from the FBI. Kash Patel is not interested in a functioning law enforcement agency. He is interested in secret police that work for Donald Trump. He is interested in making an ideological strike force to strike at the people who are not ideologically conservative. Be conservative or suffer. These FBI agents were not conservative, and they suffered. They had their careers destroyed. They had their careers, not destroyed, but they had their careers ended for ideological, political reasons. They were canceled. They said the thing that Donald Trump doesn't think is politically correct, so they were removed, harmed, because they weren't saying the right political things. They weren't saying conservatism properly. They didn't answer the questions of when did you start supporting Donald Trump correctly, so they had to be gone.
But hey, Trump is not dumb. He is definitely capable of learning things. He no longer gives speeches in front of a helicopter.
Oh, he still does that. They just don't show it. He does it as often as he can. He did it just the other day. He does that to hurt you. He does that to insult you. He does that because he doesn't like the media. Slightly, the media, he has replaced who is holding those cameras. He has been replacing the people who ask those questions with people who are nicer to him, so they don't ask dangerous, insulting questions anymore. And because they don't ask those questions anymore, you get fewer of the tricky questions. The standing in front of the helicopter is when they asked him the hard questions that he doesn't have a prepared answer for. And so they stopped doing that. And because it's less interesting, they stopped showing you the helicopter discussions. It's people asking him his favorite ice cream in front of the helicopter. And you can ask him that anytime. So they don't bother to do it anymore. So yeah, Kash Patel is ruining politicizing the FBI, making everything worse. Hegseth tells Pentagon staff to hunt for negative Charlie Kirk posts by service members. Sorry, Sewells. Sometimes the YouTube chat is bad and weird. Hegseth is hunting for people to say bad things. Several people have already been relieved of their jobs because their posts on social media, defense officials told NBC News. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told his staff to identify any members of the military who have mocked or condoned the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk so that they can be punished. Two defense officials said on NBC News, be conservative or suffer. Several service members have been relieved of their jobs because of such posts, the official said, adding to Hegseth's directive also pertains to others associated with the Defense Department. It's unclear exactly how many people have been disciplined. Hegseth and other senior Pentagon leaders posted messages on X this week calling on the public to report any posts that could be interpreted as negative about Kirk or unsympathetic about his murder. If you are unsympathetic, if you are not feeling
Autocracy?
the
Question mark?
correct feelings, you will be punished. If you don't feel the feelings that the Pentagon tells you to feel, you will be punished. Feel the sympathy or suffer the consequences. They're not even being autocratic with the law. They're being autocratic with your brain. If you have a bad thought, you need to be punished by the government. If you think
Crucifix wearing temporarily embarrassed billionaires.
that's Pete Hegseth, all right. That's a description of the conservatives these days. We are tracking all of these very closely and will address them immediately. Completely unacceptable, Hegseth wrote in his post in response to the Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell saying on X, it is unacceptable for military personnel and Department of War civilians to celebrate or mock the assassination of a fellow American. They're telling you what you can't say. They're taking away your rights, and they'll take it away from the people that they can. They'll steal the rights from the immigrants first. They'll steal the rights from the trans people because there are very few of them, and they are easy to hurt. They'll steal the rights from the other people. They're stealing the rights from the military people now. They're stealing the rights of free speech from anybody they can because they don't understand freedom. They don't know what it is. The normies in the middle. The man in the middle of a cornfield in Nebraska doesn't know what freedom is. He doesn't comprehend it. He can't comprehend it. He's never met anybody from the left. He's never met anybody from New York. He hates it. He hates New York. And he would rather die than go there. But he's never been there. And he doesn't know anybody from there. And he will never go to California because that's where all the liberals are. So he'll never go there. And he's never been. And he's never met anybody from California. But he knows he hates it. Okay? That guy, I'm not mad at. I understand that he has been fed a type of propaganda his entire life, and he doesn't know any better. But Pete Hegseth does. Pete Hegseth should know who these people are. He is a grifter who is harming people and lying to them for his own benefit. I also heard in our media about the airport security forces in the U.S. Search your social media accounts if you arrive. True. Yes, they are doing that to people coming from other countries. They are checking your socials and your socials media posts to see if you said anything anti-American. And if you have, they may not let you in or they may not let you have your visa. If you're just doing, and that's why so much our tourism has died. Tourism in America is shockingly low right now because no one wants to come here because they're terrified that they will be stuck here or that ICE will hurt them. Or put them in a jail and then send them back without all their stuff and rob them, and that's entirely possible. So yeah, Zoivak, do not come to America right now. It is a bad time. I think my messages keep getting filtered. It depends on what they are. It's not showing anything on my side, Zules. But if they're too spicy, sometimes the YouTube auto mod moderates them. Ponathan the other day was talking about how conservatives want to kill black people or something like that. And then they modded that because it said kill black people. So they modded that, even though he was trying to defend freedom and defend all the people. Throw some asterisks in instead of letters. So at the right wingers, where is the free speech here? I am terrified about that. My wife wanted to do vacation there. I forbid her. Yeah, don't come for that for now. At least until after the midterms. And if things cool off in 26, 27, I'll let you know. Stick around by all means, and I'll let you know. But yeah, right now it's a bad idea. The words Republican, NRA, and anti-authoritarian are what I said. Those are dangerous words, Sewells. Those are dangerous words. Pete Hegseth. If you were in the military, Pete Hegseth would have your ass in front of the old man, in front of the green tablecloth. He would bring you up on charges if you said stuff like that. I wonder if we can actually see some of them. Did we have some? Laura Loomer, the Nazi, blabbed a little bit. A spokesperson for FEMA said the employee's words are revolting and unconscionable and was immediately placed on administrative leave. What did they say? I want to know what they said. I don't know what they said. Maybe I should find it. Some of the posts in the collection don't necessarily condone or mock Kirk's murder, but have been viewed as unfavorable.
There is no autocracy in the U.S. It's like Russia's military operation. It's not a war in the Ukraine, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Where are the old head Republicans and NRA members? We need their anti-authoritarian fervor.
Oh, they're on...
I can't wait for a man in black to come ask me about my comment history. That'd be pretty funny.
And they're already doing that. There are certain things that you can Google that will get the FBI's attention. Like you can just do, if I Google certain things about making explosives or crock pots and stuff like that. This happened after a lot of people proved it after the Boston bombing, is that you started looking for those things. If you Googled those, the FBI would come and visit you. They would start looking into you and then they would come to your house. A comedian put together like a button where you could go onto the internet, you go to this link and you press the button and it runs a script and it Googles 50 things. And if all of those things are Googled by the same IP address, the FBI sees it, notices it, red flags it, and sends someone to talk to you. They have since shut that down. But if you start Googling things about certain keywords, you are on the list and they know it. You are being watched. We are all being surveilled all the time. Get used to it. I'm sorry. It's just the way it's going to be forever. It's going to be that way. Privacy, yeah, I know. Privacy's gone. It's dead. It's over with. And even NordVPN can't protect you. Where are the old head Republicans? They are on board for this. They don't know. That's the guy in Nebraska that I was talking to you about. He doesn't know. That guy that's standing out in the middle of the cornfield is a Republican and an NRA member. And he does not know what freedom is. He wants his way of life to be protected at all costs, and everyone else can go fuck themselves. Anybody else is on their own. He needs the old head Republicans and the NRA members and that guy, Rusty Shackelford, is what we'll call him, in the middle of the Nebraska cornfield, needs his life to be protected. You're on your own, though. If you want to go live in a Democrat-run city like Chicago and dye your hair blue and be a gay-mo, well, you're on your own. You don't get protections. You don't get the First Amendment. You don't get the Second Amendment. You have used your freedom incorrectly. And because you used it incorrectly, you have ended up at a different point in life than he has, in a different place. And you shouldn't be rewarded for that. He should be rewarded for using his freedom properly. He should be rewarded. He should be deified.
Pro-freedom, but not like that.
But not like that. He should be put on a pedestal. He should be the thing that all Americans strive for. And if you're not striving for that, you're anti-American. You're un-American. You are harming yourself and the entire country. Doesn't make any sense. I know. But they don't know what freedom means, and we can't educate them. I would love to educate them. We have to do that in the schools. But again, they know that. Charlie Kirk knows that, or knew that. The people on the right wing know that the education is the important bit. That's why they're so interested in schools. That's why Charlie Kirk was so valuable. He was grooming teenagers to be Nazis. And that is why he was important. That's why he was a saint. That's why he was valuable. He was grooming teenagers to go to college and be Nazis. And that's valuable to the people on the right. They love that. Do you think there's a chance that Trump will finish Project 2025? He's trying, and he doesn't know what it is. Trump is out of his mind. He had a stroke the other day. He is absolutely not doing well, okay? Donald Trump is not having a good time. He is stroked out, and he barely knows where he is at any given moment, okay? He is going to pass the things that 2025 say if the people put it in front of him and tell him that it's a good thing, that it hurts the liberals. He'll do it. and you can't undo that whole shit. Well, it depends. Laws can always be undone. It would be terrible to love the USA as lose the USA as a partner forever. I agree. I don't want any of the things that he's suggesting. I don't want any of the things that he's pushing for. But those are laws that can be undone, hopefully. Assuming he doesn't wreck the elections coming up in 2026, which he's trying. He's trying real hard to change the election laws in 2026. So what was I going to point at next? Now that we're on the idea of Trump. Oh, okay. Before we move on, I wanted to show you this. This is the palate cleanser. What is this? This is another little gem that I found, I saw on the thing. So here we go.
They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something.
The guy on the left is saying you will, if you are a homeless person, if you are transient, if you are mentally ill, you will take what the state gives to you and forces on you, or you will go to jail. And then the guy on the right says, or we could just kill them. We could just put some poison in their veins and they could die. They're undesirable. Why would we want to help them? Why would we spend money and effort to make these humans' lives better? Just kill them, says the Fox News host.
Well, welcome to the 1930s.
Who is very wealthy. That man is so wealthy. That's Kilmeade, isn't it? I think his name is Kilmeade, right? Yeah, Brian Kilmeade.
Almost a useless eater comment.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's getting at. He is a fascist, but he's too uneducated to know what that word means. He doesn't know what the useless eater comment is. He's never heard it. He doesn't know why Zoivac just compared him to the 1930s. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know why I compare him to Nazis and fascists. He doesn't know. He's too dumb. He is paid not to know things. He's paid to say things. He doesn't have to know what they mean. He doesn't have to know what's going on. He doesn't have to know why that's a terrible thing. He's just paid to say shit. And he's very wealthy. He is incredibly wealthy. He has more money than I'll ever have in my entire life. Even if I got 1 million views on this damn channel, he's still more wealthy than I am. And he is spitting euthanasia, the death of the undesirables, on national television where millions of people see it. And he doesn't know why that was bad. Even if he were here in the room with me and I tried to explain it to him, his IQ is so damn low that he wouldn't be able to grasp it.
I wish you 1 million weaves on your channel. A lot of people could learn some things.
I appreciate that, Zoivac. Thank you.
If we were in a normal timeline, that dude would be fired and blacklisted.
Absolutely he would. And he should be fired and blacklisted for calling for the deaths of millions of people. But he won't be. Because he's helpful to the administration that's in charge right now. He's helpful to the right-wing administration that is there. He says the things that they tell him to say, and he does it with a smile, and he doesn't ask questions. So he gets to continue being the big dumb idiot on TV that says whatever he's told to say. He might get told to stop saying things that he isn't told to say. He might get some feedback from the people in charge and be like, hey, stop saying things that we didn't tell you to say. You damn fool, you idiot, you moron, you rube, you don't know what you're talking about. Say what you're told to say, or else shut the fuck up. But that's the closest he'll come to punishment. He won't get removed or anything like that. So, okay. After the Charlie Kirk shooting, Donald Trump went onto the TV and said some stuff. Now, some people have suggested that that it was an AI video. I don't think it was. There was a weird glitch. The internet calls AI on Trump's Charlie Kirk video. It just has a little bit of what I think is AI artifacts. I don't think the entire thing was just made through AI. I think he sat in front of the camera, he looked into it, he said the words. Then they edited it with tools, with Photoshop, with AI tools. And that's why you don't see the big old face droop that he now has. The best thing for right-wingers is the case is, hey, I can't be a Nazi. I'm a man of color. The dumbest argument I've ever heard. Elisa Micro. Yeah, the black Nazis, the Blotzies. They're a thing. They're real. There are very few of them. But I think that we were looking at one there by forcing people into some sort of camp or some sort of forced confinement because of their homelessness status. We could buy them homes and they wouldn't be homeless anymore. We could give them a house to live in and they wouldn't be homeless any longer. But he would prefer to force them into some sort of jail or some sort of confinement where they're brought up to be right, good, proper American, blue-blooded, Christian, straight people who work in the office in middle America, because that's what he wants for them. That's what he needs for them, because he wants prosperity for America. And I'm getting off track again. AI, Trump. Was this AI? Did you guys see it? Is it AI?
Lazies. What a nice word already added to my vocabulary.
Yeah, Blotzies. Yeah, black Nazis. There aren't that many of them, and don't go crazy with the term. Only use it when we need to. President Trump uploaded a speech to social media on Wednesday, responding to the shooting death of far-right activist Charlie Kirk. Almost immediately, those online began questioning whether the video was generated by artificial intelligence. One of the most popular voices on social media questioning the video focused on two notable observations. First, a blip appears over the Trump's head when the trees are seen in the Oval Office. Second, when Trump's fingers appear to vanish. Can we see that? Let's look at it. I hate going to X, but we do sometimes. So you're looking at that right there. This was in the video, and it looks kind of like one of those AI thingies where he doesn't quite comprehend what human hands are. So they're looking at that thinking that it was AI. And let's see the glitch above the trees. Well, this one's on Threads. Can we watch it? I don't know. Can I see it? Here we go. It's just a weird pixel up here moving about. Yeah, it could just be leaves and trees blowing wind, but it could be, and what I think it is that they're using AI and Photoshop filters and stuff like that to make him look less like he had a stroke. I think he had a stroke 2 weeks ago. I really do. And then we've got the photos that came out during the 9/11. Oops, it was already up there. This was at the 9/11 thing the next day. So 9/10, we had that AI video, or the AI doctored video, possibly. 9/11, we got this. Look at that. That is the face of a stroke victim. I'm sorry. It is. This is known. It is known. Everyone knows this. Your face starts to droop like that. Homeboy had a stroke about 2 weeks ago. That's why he was gone for 5 or 6 days. He went 5 days without ever being in front of a camera. That's unusual. That is odd. The motherfucker loves being in front of the camera. He's literally at a 9/11 memorial, sitting completely still so that a camera can take his photo. He loves being in front of the camera. That's his only superpower, is by going in front of the camera. He weaves together threads of incomprehensible nonsense, and normies in the middle get hypnotized by it. He's a hypnotist. I don't know how. I don't quite understand it, but I know he is. If you listen to the words he says and measure them against reality, you'll know he's a liar. If you listen to the things he says and apply them, you will find out that he's wrong. But most of the people in the country just hear the weave. They hear him talking these things, and it's like an optical illusion, and it's like a hypnotism, and it puts them into a trance, and then they can't break out of it. They think that whatever he said was what they think. That's the magic that he has. It's the actual literal superpower that he has. He can blather for 20 minutes, and a lot of the people in the country will think he agrees with them. He agrees with whatever makes him the most money, gets him the most power, gets him the most accolades and appreciation. Doesn't care about you. It's just whatever gets him through the next day. He is blind to be on tomorrow's headline, and he can pump out tomorrow's headline beautifully. He is quite good at making tomorrow's headline say exactly what he wants. He doesn't know the future. He doesn't have any idea what's going on. And that's why I think he's not actually in charge. He's not going to be the one to run Project 2025. They just put shit in front of him, and he is a literal stroke victim who is inches away from death. And all the people around him are the ungrateful grandchildren trying to get in the will. That is why he's surrounded by all these people. Pam Bondi, the Nazi, wants him, when he dies, to make her the new president, the new leader of the party. J.D. Vance, Stance Vance, that's his full name, is so close to being president himself. He's just waiting for this damned old man to die.
Kind of like he claims Biden was.
Exactly like he claims Biden was. Yes, the conservatives. You can't yell at a conservative for being contradictory. They are contradictory. Their entire ideology is contradiction, is incoherence, is incompatible with reality. You can't catch them. Aha, I caught you. You were being a hypocrite. They love it. They like being a hypocrite. And they love being a hypocrite while telling you not to be a hypocrite. It gets them off in a weird way. I don't understand it, but they love it.
The projection party.
The projection party. Yeah, absolutely. And you can't call them on it because they like it. If you call them the projection party and say, you are the party of projection, you're the one doing this, they're like, yeah, we are. We sure are. You're so smart. Good job. High five. Aren't we great? Vote for us. We're in charge. So yeah, it's a silly mess. It doesn't make any sense. What was I getting at? So yeah, he had a stroke. He's going to die. J.D. Vance wants to be president real bad. Real bad.
They'll just say you are projecting.
Yeah, you're right. If you literally have them projecting, they'll call you projecting. If they are literally hiding this photo from you, they will blame it on Joe Biden and tell you that you are crazy and you're gaslighting, and he's fine actually, and he's the strongest 6'3", 210 pounds president we've ever had, and there's never done anything wrong, and everything he says is correct, and he'll sell you a hat that says Trump was right about everything. When he's literally wrong about literally everything. But yeah, that's the mess that we're in. This is the difficulty that we have. This is the trouble that we're in right now. Is that they don't care about what's real and what's factual. They just say whatever they want. So yeah, all the kids are trying to get in the will. That's what J.D. Vance is doing. That's what Pam Bondi's doing. That's what Kash Patel is doing. That's what Elon's doing. They're all hanging around this very rich, powerful guy who's about to die, so that if he does, he can give them the power. He can give them the keys to the kingdom. He can give them the thing and the legitimacy that they need to continue this fascist movement. And I'm telling you, good news, bad news. Good news.
Strength is recognizing weakness versus recognizing weakness as weak.
Well said, Mel City, and I agree with you. Good news is he's probably going to die soon. Having a stroke makes you prone to having more strokes. Having a stroke that causes this will lead to more strokes. Having a stroke makes you prone to have more strokes, and bigger and bigger and bigger. The Aristoka border control. So is the shooter MAGA or left? He is a groiper. He's an incoherent right-wing 4chan level troll who wants you to hate the left. And if you saw what he did and hate the left, then he got his goal accomplished. He won. and everybody who hates the left because of him will try to go to war. If he can get the left and the right to go to war over Charlie's death, he's won. That's what he wanted. He wanted you to fight. Oh, yeah. See, the auto mod just modded your thing. He said it makes no sense that a white supremacist would shoot another white supremacist. Yes, it does. Aristroska. He wants war. And he expected it 6 months ago. He expected the millions and 20, 30, 40, 50 million immigrants to be kicked out of the country on trains. He expected that 6 months ago, and it didn't happen. And now he expects he expected all the trans people to be rounded up and put into camps 6 months ago, and it hasn't happened. So he forced it to happen. He accelerated. He pushed his foot on the gas, and he killed a holy saint of the right wing. And the right wing will go to war. They're already in my comments on YouTube, yelling at me, blaming me, hating me. He wanted you to hate the left. And if you hate the left because of what this guy did, he's won. He beat you. He epically owned you and trolled you into hating the thing that is going to help you and help society.
End stage 4 Chan troll. When trolling moves from edgelord keyboarding to real-world consequences.
That's right. But we talked about that earlier in the stream. Go back and watch the earlier parts of the stream. It's all on YouTube as well. Do you think that Charlie Kirk was actually far right? Because the people are comparing Charlie Kirk to Nick at this point. He is far right and was far right. Yes, he was an ethno-nationalist white supremacist. Charlie Kirk, white supremacist, ethno-nationalist, wanted America to be a white nation, white Christian nation. And he would accept violence if that happened to get us there. He would accept that. And he pushed for those kinds of things. He was an evangelist of violence. He wanted those things. And he was an extremist. And he got lots of people involved in politics, and he wanted them to be involved so that they would vote right and we could get Donald Trump in charge. So he's on the same level as Nick Fuentes. No, Nick Fuentes is far more honest about it than Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was keeping a public face on his groiper attitude. He really was. Nick Fuentes is not keeping a public face on that. He is being far more honest. And because of that, he is far less successful than Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is successful because he hides his power level. And I can see that. If we could discuss it forever, what a human being's motives are, but it's impossible to know. You have to look at their actions. So I don't know what was exactly in his head, but I suspect that it was white nationalism based on the things that he said and the actions that he took. Where was I going? Was I trying to wrap this up? Yeah, Donald Trump is having strokes. He's going to have more strokes, and he's going to die. J.D. Vance is going to take over as president.
And he had every right to speak, however salacious, contrarian, or instigatory, without fearing death.
And that is what everyone on the left is saying. That's what everything on Blue Sky has said. Every single Democrat in the House and in the Senate has posted exactly something like that. But the right wing is lying, telling all of us that the left is out here trying to be violent, trying to instigate violence, when it's the right that's instigating violence. Fascism leads to violence. We saw fascist violence on January 6th. We saw the fascist violence try to take over the government. And they were pushed back. They met with more violence. Ashley Babbitt, the terrorist, died instigating fascist violence. Donald Trump is doing fascist violence now to the immigrants, to the people he doesn't like. Some people are pushing even for violence for the homeless and the trans people. Fascists use violence when they're in charge. Fascists use violence to get power. When they're in power, they use violence. And the only way to get rid of them is violence, because they ignore the courts. They ignore the law. Aristroka said, but it wasn't his roommate trans. Why would a white supremacist live with a trans person? I don't know what his roommate was or wasn't. He is incoherent, Aristroka. That's what I'm telling you. Right-wing ideology is incoherent. The further right you go, the more incoherent you become. He was so far right that he is entirely incoherent. It doesn't make any sense. Conservatism at its base In the center-right neocon area, it's slightly incoherent. If you go over to the MAGA side, it's entirely incoherent. And if you go further right than that, you'll live next to a trans person and hate trans people and shoot Charlie Kirk to make the right go to war with the left. Doesn't make sense. But you can't make sense of these people. You can't make sense of these situations. He is a 22-year-old incoherent mess in his brain, and the internet made him that way. And what else is going on? What are we talking about? What are we thinking about? Donald Trump's going to die soon, and that will be good, because I don't think anybody else has the power to control the GOP the way he does. I don't think anybody has the ability to do the weave, to do that complicated hypnosis. Donald Trump hypnotizes people. He really does. And then you'll listen to him for 20 minutes. Your brain shuts off because it can't connect anymore. Your brain stops working. Your brain becomes fried. And then you're like, well, clearly he said something that I like. And then you can pick little bits, and the media will pick out the bits that will make you feel good, and it'll make other people feel better and make other people feel good. You can pick and choose whichever one it is, because he has no ethics. He has no stance. He has no principles. He'll say whatever he wants, any way he wants, anytime he wants, whatever gets him through the current discussion. And because of that, you can find something that you can like. I could cherry pick his words to find things that I like, but he doesn't do any of it, and he didn't mean it, and he has no intention of moving forward on those plans. So because he is about to die soon, everybody wants to be the new leader, the new replacement, the new Trump. There isn't one. And that's the good news. Good news, I hope he dies soon. I suspect that he will. Good news, I don't think they have a replacement. Stance Vance cannot replace him. He is too much like the assassin. He's also a Fortran, edgelord, debate lord. He's too much like that assassin. He will not hypnotize the people in the middle. They will turn on him. They won't like him. They'll be sad. He'll bring up Trump's name all the time, and they won't show up to vote. Good news, probably. Bad news, he's going to write executive orders. Donald Trump might write executive orders that fuck up the elections. Stance Vance might fuck up the elections himself if he's in charge. If he takes over as president tomorrow, he will fuck up the elections. They will fight to hurt the elections. They will cancel all the mail-in votes after you've sent them, after you've voted, and after you can't vote in person. Then they'll cancel the fucking mail-in votes and say, no, those don't count. They will fuck up the counts. They will hire conservative poll watchers. They will send the military to those polling places where there is an increase in Latino voters. They'll send them to Los Angeles. They'll send them to anywhere that is a blue voting place, and they'll put the troops there. They will send ICE agents to historically, demographically Hispanic places and scare them. Make them feel like they can't vote. Even if they are citizens and they were born in America and they voted in the past, they will show up there and they will see ICE, and ICE will hassle them. ICE might even drag them away or try and drag someone away, or they will try and stop ICE, and then they will get arrested. And they won't be able to vote, and then they will be stuck in jail for a couple of days, and then they might lose their jobs. This will keep people from voting. And they're doing that on purpose because they know they can't win any longer. They know that they can't win without severe distortion. Donald Trump is really good at that distortion. He is very good at that distortion. He is very good at convincing you that what he said is true and correct and real and right, and a lot of people get hypnotized by him. R. Strotska, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for talking. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who was here. Zoivak, thanks for coming. Shinseto, Masidi, and everybody. I appreciate it. What you see is thanks for holding up, keeping it real in YouTube chat. Everybody, I'm about done for today. You can go on over to the Discord and tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling. That's in the chat, Discord. If you're watching on YouTube, maybe it works there. It doesn't. I need to fix that. Then you can go over to the YouTube page. YouTube page as well. You can go there. You can watch all of this. I take the best bits and I trim it down into little videos. And you can watch the videos, and then I turn it into shorts, and then the algorithm sometimes sends it out to people. Sometimes it doesn't. So go on over there and help me out. The YouTube algorithm is powered by hatred, so you need to go there and you need to spread some hatred. You need to smash the subscribe button. You need to break the thumbs up. You need to crack the bell button, and then you need to insult someone in the chat, because the YouTube algorithm is powered by hatred.
You wear your videos as shorts? How does that work?
I do wear them as shorts. It's very complicated. I'll show you. I saw some stuff suggesting the shooter was part of a Sector 764. Yeah, that is online incoherence is what it is. The 764 is online LARPers being silly and being stupid. It's nothing. It's not a real thing. It's just go there and be silly. And he just took it too seriously. That's the online Satanists, right? The people that act stupid. It's just incoherent 19-year-olds. If you had listened to most of the conversations I had as a teenager and as a 22-year-old, it's nonsense. It's madness. It doesn't function. It doesn't click from one thing to another. I was not coherent.
Is it Gravy Seal LARPing?
Well, not Gravy Seal LARPing. It's more like it's closer to conspiracy theorist. If I understand what any of it is talking about. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I think it's more like conspiracy theory. It's the government's out to get you. The Satanists are real. They're killing babies. They're eating
Apparently,
blood.
they've been pulling stuff off, though. Getting people to off themselves and do some shootings.
Right, and that's the worst part is that some of them are manipulating the people to go and do things in real life. It's cyberbullying plus.
They troll people into doing bad stuff.
Yeah, it's cyberbullying plus conspiracy theory to get people to take actions in real life. When somebody cyberbullies you and tells you to kill yourself and stuff like that, it's very sad when those the teenagers do that, and they're bullied
people
into
on
it.
4chan have done that as well.
Right, and that's what I'm thinking that it is. It's not an actual movement. It's not some sort of political statement. It's not some sort of political place where you can go and find out what's going on there and debate them. It's just trolling and harming and bullying people. Let's see. Did I post the YouTube link? I did. Go on over to YouTube. Watch stuff over there. Break the thumbs up. All that fun stuff. I'm hungry. I have to go eat some lunch, and the dog is bugging me again. So I'm gonna go over to the dog. I'm gonna go eat the dog. That's what I'm gonna do. He's barking too much, and I'm hungry. These two things, they just solve each other. I'm going to go eat Bobo. So if you are watching, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. I love you. I will be back on Wednesday night unless the Gestapo kicks in my door, drags me off to the gulag. And until then, I will be here streaming twice a week, maybe 3 times a week if I ever get a better job. So that is it. And I will be